It was a quiet, dimly lit night at the gas station. A single mother, tired from a long day, pulled in to fill her car. She didn't notice the group of men lingering near the pumps, their eyes fixed on her. Suddenly, one of the thugs stepped forward, demanding money with a menacing grin. Her heart pounded. Fear gripped her as she realized she was alone, vulnerable, and completely unprepared for this. But just as the situation felt hopeless, the distant roar of engines grew louder. The vibration in the asphalt beneath her feet signaled a new presence. Dozens of bikers, shadows against the night, appeared encircling the thugs. The air was thick with tension, and the mother's relief began to replace her terror. Safety had arrived in an unexpected form. Welcome to Miracles of Kindness, a place where small actions create life-changing moments. In a world that often looks away, these are the stories of people who chose compassion, courage, and humanity. Because sometimes, one act of kindness is all it takes to change a life forever. The mother tried to keep her composure, holding her purse tightly as the thugs closed in. They mocked her, laughed at her attempts to speak up, and one even grabbed her shoulder. Panic surged through her, but then a line of bikers appeared, forming a protective circle around her. Engines revving, headlights cutting through the darkness, they made it clear that no harm would come to her tonight. The thugs froze, intimidated by this sudden show of solidarity. She realized she wasn't powerless. There were strangers willing to stand up for her, ready to turn fear into safety. The thugs laughed and taunted her, thinking she was an easy target. But then, a wave of rumbling engines announced the arrival of the bikers. They formed a semicircle around the thugs, who now hesitated. No words were needed. Their presence alone was enough to stop the aggression. The mother watched, awestruck, as the scene became a tense standoff. Each group sizing the other up, the night air heavy with suspense. The thugs' confidence began to falter as they realized they had underestimated these unexpected protectors. The mother tried to back away, but her fear anchored her in place. Then the bikers stepped closer, not threatening her with violence, but showing an unwavering solidarity. One biker placed a hand on the shoulder of the nearest thug, a silent warning that boundaries would not be crossed. The mother could hardly believe her eyes. Strangers, men she had never met, stood between her and harm. The courage displayed that night taught her something profound. Heroism can come in the simplest acts of standing together. As the bikers closed in, the thugs panicked. Their bravado dissolved into fear. They fled, running toward the street, the bikers' presence enough to push them to retreat. Engines roared as the bikers followed them just enough to ensure they wouldn't return. Meanwhile, the mother breathed a sigh of relief, safe and unharmed. The night's terror had been replaced by gratitude. She realized that sometimes justice doesn't come in a courtroom, it comes in the presence of those willing to protect the vulnerable. Among the bikers, one recognized a face from the past, a thug who had caused trouble in the neighborhood before. This was no coincidence. They had been patrolling the area, watching for incidents like this. The mother had no idea she was in the right place at the right time. The bikers' intervention was calculated, precise, and driven by a sense of responsibility. It wasn't just luck, it was community in action, a reminder that even strangers can form a protective network when danger arises. The thugs sneered at the bikers at first, underestimating their authority. But the bikers didn't speak, they let their presence do the talking. Engines growled, lights flashed, and the thugs felt a fear they hadn't expected. The mother watched in awe as the thugs' arrogance crumbled, replaced by hesitation and uncertainty. That night, she learned a powerful lesson. Courage and respect don't always come from strength alone, but from standing with integrity and presence. After the thugs finally scattered, the mother approached the bikers, her voice trembling. She thanked them, overwhelmed by the unexpected protection they had given. They nodded, smiling faintly, knowing their purpose was served. That night left her reflecting on human kindness, on how strangers could become heroes in moments of extreme vulnerability. She realized that even in a harsh world, There are people willing to step in and protect those who cannot protect themselves. Other customers watched from inside the station, shocked and speechless. The mother's fear was palpable, the thug's aggression terrifying, and then, in an instant, everything changed. The bikers surrounded the aggressors, their presence transforming the scene into one of awe. Witnesses realized something important. Courage can be contagious. And one person's willingness to act can ripple through a community, changing outcomes for the better. By the time the mother drove away, her hands still trembling, she felt something new. Empowerment. She had been scared, alone, and vulnerable, and yet she had witnessed courage in action. The biker's intervention reminded her that she was not alone, that the world holds people willing to protect and stand up for justice. Fear had transformed into gratitude, and she left with a newfound strength, a belief that no matter the circumstances, help can arrive when it's needed most. You didn't click this video by accident. Choosing stories of kindness means you still believe humanity is worth saving, and that already makes you different. At Miracles of Kindness, we share real moments that restore faith in people. If this story touched you, subscribe and stay with us, because the world needs more hearts like yours.